Hi guys, today is episode 2 in It's Fall Y'all series that I'm doing for fall this year. I created some beautiful rustic farmhouse decor signs and items that I purchased from the Dollar Tree. First one is this adorable chalkboard sign that's so rustic and charming, and I absolutely love it, which can be switched out. Also this 3-tier harvest pumpkin sign that I incorporated with Mackenzie's Child's courtly check, and I love it. It gives a welcoming and warm greeting for the fall. Also my new espresso machine, yes, with all the accessories. So we're gonna need some E6000, a glue gun and glue sticks, also some apple barrel black paint, and I'm going to also be using some of this nautical rope from the Dollar Tree, some regular chalkboard paint for the chalkboard, and some burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree also. Now we're going to do that clear glass base and a regular Dollar Tree sign. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and paint the sign. I gave it about 2 coats, I believe, maybe 3, to get it nice and thick, so when we write on it, it won't, get too scratched up. And we're going to go ahead and paint out that glass base, the candle holder base. We're going to paint that out and put it to the side to dry. Now when it gets dried, I'm going to go ahead and get some of this fast drying clay, and I'm going to insert that in there, and I'm going to take one of these bases from a sponge brush. I don't throw away anything, guys. And I'm going to be using this, and this is what I'm going to actually make the stand for that chalkboard sign. All I'm going to do is remove the excess clay, put that stick in there, and let it dry out. Now that it's dry, I'm going to take that nautical rope and go around the edges of this blackboard sign that I painted. Now what you're going to do is don't worry about the holes, because when you wrap this, it's going to cover up all of those holes that you had on that sign. And you're just going to continue to edit the hot glue and wrap it all the way around until you get to the end. You're just going to clip it and neaten it up with a little bit more hot glue. Very simple. Now we're going to go ahead and take the same nautical rope, and we're going to wrap it with some hot glue around the top of the base. And the clay is all dry, and we're just going to go back and paint that white part of the clay with black also. Now this is what it will look like when it's done, and I'm going to show you how we'll be adding that on. See that, guys? Isn't that great? We're just going to go ahead and glue it on, and it makes a perfect base for the sign. It looks like something from Hobby Lobby. So I'm just going to use some E6000 and a generous amount of the hot glue, and just go ahead and add that to the sign. Now I'm just going to go ahead and add that burlap bow that I made, and isn't she adorable? I love this sign. It can definitely transition from season to season, but it's perfect for the fall for my coffee bar, and I love it from the top all the way down to the cute little base. It's so pretty, and it reminds me of a Hobby Lobby dupe. Now for the next one, we're going to be doing the 3-tier harvest pumpkin sign, and I'm going to be using these Dollar Tree signs. This one, I know it's a lantern on the jack-o'-lantern on the back, but I'm going to use the back of it, not the front of it, and also these other signs. And I'm just going to go ahead and remove all of the metal, and I'm just going to cover up these holes because these might be visible, and that's that same clay. Now I bought this paint from the Dollar Tree. It's a really pretty brick red color, and I know once it dries down it's gonna be flat, and that's basically what I wanted, because I really wanted this to be a really pretty warm brick red color for the fall. And I'm gonna go ahead and paint that out and get it around the edges. Really, really neat. One coat was all I needed. Now this sign is actually not a pumpkin, it's an apple sign, and it looks like one. So I'm going to turn it over and paint the back of it, but then I changed my mind. I'm going to use this Mackenzie Child's courtly check, because that would camouflage the fact that it's an apple, because I want it to look like a pumpkin. I'm just going to go ahead and separate the back of the napkin from the front of the napkin. And once I get that done, I'm going to go ahead and add a generous amount of Mod Podge. Any glue would do. And this is going to give it a really pretty whimsical rustic effect that I absolutely love, and I've been looking for a reason to use these napkins. Now on the edge, it's a gold trim on the edge of the Mackenzie's Child's napkins, so you're just going to cut that gold edge off and then match up the checks for the courtly check to match, so it's the opposite and it blends in perfectly, as you can see. Then you're going to go back with some more Mod Podge and just go over it and let that dry down. Just make sure that you get it all the edges so it'll be nice and neat. And for the last pumpkin, we're going to go ahead and just paint that out in a good coat of crisp white, because I picked up a 3-pack of the Thankful Harvest and Welcome metal signs, so we're going to paint those also. Now I'm going to go back in now that this pumpkin is dry and just give it some definition by edging it out and going in and giving it a little bit more of just a 3D look. I'm going to do the same thing with the white pumpkin. I'm just going to do the stem just for the sake of doing it, but I'm going to go back in and do the same process and give it some definition, and especially the edges because it is white and you want it to have some definition. Now this beautiful courtly check, it looks awesome. We're going to start assembling it. Now for the harvest sign, for that 3-pack from the Dollar Tree, I didn't want to paint it. I wanted it to just be that metal look. And I just went ahead and added that on, and it looks perfect. Now for the apple, I'm going to show you how I'm going to camouflage the apple to make it look more like a pumpkin. So I hot glued that on. I went ahead and painted the Thankful white to make it pop. And I'm going to take some of this jute string that I made a bow with just to cover up the bottom of the apple. And now you can't tell that it was an apple. It looks like a pumpkin. For the last sign, I'm going to go ahead and just put a generous amount of the hot glue on and add that on. And I painted the Welcome in black to make it pop on that crisp white. Now I know the Thankful sign is a little washed out. I went back and gave that some definition later on also. Now with the metal leaf that came with that other sign, I went ahead and put that on there, and I made a burlap ribbon and put that on the sign also. Now to get it to stand up, I'm using one of these bases from the Dollar Tree, this sign as a base, and I'm going to use these popsicle sticks, and I'm going to hot glue those on. I'm going to use a really generous amount of the hot glue, and I had 2, but I went back and added a 3rd one, and then in the back it seemed a little wobbly at first, so I went back after I was off camera and I took 2 more popsicle sticks, because as you can see it's just 3, and I crisscrossed them, and it gave it the sturdiness that it needed, and it looks absolutely fabulous. I love this. Now to finish it off, I went ahead and used some of these leaves from the Dollar Tree. I just clipped a few of them here and there and added them in to just give it a cohesive overall look. And guys, I'm telling you, this sign looks awesome. So it's a 3-tier harvest pumpkin sign with that Mackenzie's child that is just so adorable, and like I said, it's so welcoming and warm, and it just wants to greet you and hug you for the fall, and I'm really looking forward to the fall. And I basically went ahead and with the base, you can't even tell with those florals on the bottom. Awesome DIY that I love, all from Dollar Tree items. And the way I styled this on my coffee bar, as you can see, I used different colors. You can see the other little sign that I made earlier, which I absolutely love. And that home sign in the back is from another DIY I'll put in the description bar. But this sign was the inspiration, and it actually has sort of like a courtly check with that really pretty rustic red. I also have some Dollar Tree florals in a jute wrapped bottle in the back. And like I said, this DIY with the home, I'll put that in the description bar for a previous DIY from the Dollar Tree. But yeah, I just love the way that this turned out. This sign is so cute. I also have a trivet from the Dollar Tree and one of those pumpkin signs with my initial with the burlap that's in the Dollar Tree this year. And also one of these little cannon jars. And last but not least, those string lights. They're from the Dollar Tree also. Aren't they adorable, guys? They're little leaves for the season, and I love those. Awesome. And my Nespresso machine I actually went ahead and got the full package. The pods have storage. I love the storage. This Nespresso machine, the coffee, I'm never going back to a regular coffee machine ever again. It's so good. And it also came with the aerator. I love that it froths your milk and your creams. And I also have a sampler pack that they gave me that was included in the package. And it's a sampler pack of like 12 different types of coffee. So it'll give you an idea by you using them which ones you'll purchase in the future. So this was really great and a great way to kick off for the fall. And this is episode 2. So I hope you enjoyed this high-end budget-friendly fall decor for episode 2 of my It's Fall Y'all series. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you at the next episode. And it's been so great. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day, guys. Keep your head up and have an awesome day.